Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Live from iRacing's virtual Sonoma Raceway, welcome sim racing fans to round number 6 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship qualifying series presented by Yokohama. Happy that you're all able to join us here on Apex Racing TV for the 6th round of this qualifying series season. And as the points heat up, the action on the track is ready to heat up as well. Joshua Lee here with you in the booth alongside Dane Baird with Mark Tranter down in the virtual production trailer. And Dane, getting started with this series, a lot of unknowns, a couple of new circuits we went to. Now we're back familiar territory with Sonoma. It's a fan favorite. It's a driver favorite, and it is going to provide some exciting racing with a steady handful of the drivers here in this split still not locked into the top 18.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of the favorite circuits on the iRX calendar, that's for sure. One of the oldest as well. I believe it was the second circuit to be added when iRX came to the service. A bunch of circuits got added straight away, but then I think Sonoma was the first addition to that mix, and it's been a favorite ever since. There's a couple of grip strips around the circuit that maybe the drivers don't like too much, but it's nice, it's fast, it's flowing, and it's got some nice elevation change as well. So the drivers love it. We love it as well because it gives some fantastic racing with all the nice open corners. So hopefully we get another good showing here today. We've had some crackers already to qualify the series so far.
And we saw in the World Championship Series, obviously this is where we saw Johan Harth take home that World Championship for Team Yokohama. We had that broadcast here live on Apex Racing TV, but that entire race also leading through the heats, leading to the consolations into the feature, had some very exciting racing. And we're killing Delolmo's going through right now, one of the toughest parts of the course. You got to point that car exactly perfect back out of the asphalt, and he does it exquisitely. Currently holds the fastest time as we go on board He'll go through the final corner, back into the dirt, up and over the jump, and a little bit of a top of the handbrake. There he goes over the jump now, and is going to come across the line. Bo Albert going to go up into 5th, 40.259, 40.913 for Keaton Swain. He'll stay in 10th at a 40.877. It will not be an improvement for the time for Killian DeLalmo. Edmondson going to hop up into 4th with a 40.234, possibly his best qualifying effort of the season. If we take a look at Logitech GL Esports driver Bo Albert.
Absolutely. Just look at the times on the left-hand side. That's the gap between each driver. So Albert, you can see, is 0.014 seconds behind Connor Parisi in 5th. But almost every single driver on the grid at the moment separated by less than a 10th of a second. Most of them, in fact, less than half a 10th of a second. As Albert continues that trend, he goes just half a 10th of a second in 4th place behind, I believe it was Edmondson there. And yeah, qualifying is over. That was very quick. Everybody getting their laps in right at the start of the session. We're almost ready to go for Heat 1 already.
Grid up on your screen now for Heat number 1. It's Killian DeLalmo at the front of the field. Otto Toskinen will start to his outside. Josh Edmondson, Luis Nunez, Rasmus Tuominen. The 5 cars taking the green flag here in Heat number 1. The top 2 will automatically advance their way into the feature. Back from there, the remaining 3 will go into the Consolation. Everybody will make the feature. We will have 10 cars lining up for the feature. It's just deciding here in the heats where the top 2 are going to start and where we will see them line up in the Consolation. But getting ready for these drivers to take to the grid. Killian DeLalmo for Set Esports now on it. And Dane, just talking about this circuit one more time, that Joker lane could also provide some exciting action. It's relatively short. It's just right before that last turn going over the jump. Doesn't provide too much extra time, but it provides a lot of built-up speed heading down into turn 1.
Yeah, but it also has a very sketchy entrance to the Joker lane because you basically are braking in the middle of an acceleration zone on the racing line to get down into the Joker. So drivers are probably going to get taken out on their way into the Joker. We've seen that many, many times in the qualifiers and the World Championship Series. Another thing to note is that they cannot take it the first time by because the the finish line, where the drivers will finish their laps, is on the main straight. This is the back straight, which they'll pass the Joker lane before, just like at Daytona.
Here we go then. Lights are up just as quick. They go out and we go green. It's DeLalmo on the inside. Points leader Toskin into his outside. Edmondson there in 3rd. He gets a shot from Rasmus Tuominen. He's going to go spinning into the turn number 1. Here comes down the inside of Otto Toskinen. Contact made. That's Luis Nunez trying to get the spot. DeLalmo keeping the lead. Toskinen in 2nd. Nunez going to fall into 3rd. Here comes Tuominen to his outside. They'll go side by side into turn number 1 for the first time. Sliding through the corners, Otto Toskinen. He goes to the inside of DeLalmo. They tour-bang going up the hill. They're still side by side over the dirt, but it's going to be DeLalmo taking the lead as they go back down.
And that's very surprising. Toskinen had his right-hand wheels all over the grip strips on the inside. Should have been able to carry the momentum on the inside. I think DeLalmo just shut the door perfectly and allowed himself to gain a little bit of a lead here. We'll see who takes the Joker the first time by. And it is going to be DeLalmo and Toskinen, and Tuominen joins them as well. Nunez, the only driver to go around. You can see him there in the background coming over the jump now. He'll lose out a couple seconds, 3 seconds to be precise, but it's the top 3 all taken to the Joker first time.
Both Set Esports drivers plus the Black Star Racing machine of Otto Toskinen. He won the feature race last time out when we broadcasted here on Apex Racing TV. He sits there in P2. You can see right up as they go back up the hill and right back down as well. DeLalmo holding that lead. Tuominen now going to look to the back bumper of Otto Toskinen. Going to try and go for this 2nd spot. This is the battle for the transfer. It'll be 3 to go at the line. We put 2 laps behind us. And as they come across that start-finish line, Tuominen not able to make up too much ground on Toskinen, but DeLalmo setting the pace up at the front. 40.258, fastest lap of the race so far.
Both Set Esports cars taking a wide line through turn 1, which is interesting. A lot of the drivers prefer to get right up to the inside and hug the grass on the inside, which gives a little bit more grip than a small tarmac strip that you might just be able to see as the drivers make their way up through the dirt section. The drivers sometimes like to get a couple wheels on, give them a bit of extra grip, but the Set drivers deciding not to do that and taking a bit of a wider line, carrying maybe a bit more speed through the corner instead. So it's interesting to see the different strategies being played by the drivers as Nunez once again opts not to take the Joker. He's a bit sideways off the jump there. They're almost ending up in the wall on the outside.
And Nunez losing a bit of time to the drivers up in front as well. That Joker lane to Delta Dane is not going to help them too much as we have a side-by-side battle for the lead. Delomo might have gotten a slowdown, and here comes Otto Toskinen. He's going to take the lead now here in heat number 1. That'll send Delomo to second. Tuominen now going to have to fight with his teammate for that transfer spot as Toskinen's going to go through for Black Star Racing, take the lead over in heat number 1. White flag coming up this time.
And we'll see if Nunez takes to the Joker this time. He doesn't, so he's leaving it to the very last lap. Edmondson out of contention totally. He's right since the start turned around by Tuominen, I believe, right at the start of the race. Very, very sideways there was Delomo. I think Tuominen might be getting a slowdown here because he just cut basically his entire car to the right-hand side of the circuit. But it doesn't look like Taskin's under too much pressure here. Delomo right on his bumper, but not really any passing opportunities left on the circuit if Taskin can keep it clean.
Through the final 2 corners, makes a peek to the bottom. Can Delomo do anything? He sends it in! Contact made, they door bang! They're still side by side as they come over the jump! Both of the set Esports cars sideways, but it works! Delomo's gonna take the win! Tuominen in second, Toskin in third, Nunez not able to do it off the Joker, he finishes in 4th, Edmondson's gonna come home in 5th, but what a final lap move from both Delomo and Tuominen. That puts both of the Set Esports cars into the final. What a move there in the final corner of this racetrack for the 2 Set Esports cars. Delomo, Tuominen, they're heading into the feature race. Everybody else down, Toskinen, Nunez, Edmondson, they're going to have to fight out of that Consolation. What a team move from Set Esports to knock Black Star Racing's Otto Toskinen into the Constellation. Just like that, it's time for heat number 2. Rafus on the pole, Albert to his outside, Parise there as well on that front row, Vicente Salas and Keaton Swain gonna round out the drivers here in heat number 2. But Dane, I think you're eating your words a little bit there. No passing zones left on the track. They definitely created a passing zone.
Yeah, that was a definite creation of a passing zone. I would never have sent the car up the inside, but Delomo saw the opportunity and went for it.
Here we go, ready to go racing heat number 2. Lights come up, they're ready to go green. It's Rafus on the inside, Albert in the middle, Parise to the outside. Look at the start from Parise. Albert caught sleeping at the line. He's going to go down to 3rd. Parise going around the outside for the lead. Still side by side with Rafus, side by side in that 2nd spot. Albert trying to hold on 3rd. They make contact. Albert's going to be a little bit loose. He makes contact now once more with Vicente Salas. Albert's going to go into the wall. He's able to keep it straight, but he falls all the way to 5th. Swain going to move up to 4th. Salas up to 3rd. They all go up the hill in the dirt section for the first time. Here comes Parise to the inside of Rafus. Rafus goes up the track just a little bit too much. And for Jim Beaver Esports, it's Connor Parise that's going to walk away with the race lead.
And Albert's managed to get past Swain, which is crucial for him. We know that Swain's very competent in those pro trucks. He's got the highest I rating of the field almost in the number 2 car, but not his forte is rallycross. So Albert getting past him is crucial for Albert's chances. He's just taken to the Joker. We'll see where he comes out.
So into the Joker lane goes Bo Albert, first car to do so. He's going to take the lead provisionally for the moment. If he can run away from Parise and Rafus, if they keep on battling Dane, we could see a possibility of Albert walking away with this win, and they're still battling for the 2nd spot. Rafus made a look to the bottom. Parise able to shut that door. Here comes Salas now to the back bumper. Rafus, he gets him up out of the groove. Salas looks to the bottom, not able to make it happen. But as they come out of the dirt section, Albert's not able to make up enough time. If Parise Joker's here, I'd say even Rafus or Salas if they Joker here. It's going to be a lead change. What's going to happen here at the Joker lane? Here comes Parise in. Here comes Salas in. Where are they going to come out? Parise is going to come out with the race lead. Can Salas come out in 2nd? He can't get by the Logitech G-Altus Esports number 5 of Bo Albert. He'll stay in 3rd.
For now, but he's just run extremely wide through turn number 1 and only just about managed to get back online before Salas came storming through. But what that means is Rafus is in a fantastic position now because he was just in front of Salas. He probably will end up coming out in front of Albert when he takes the Joker. We just have to keep it clean and hope that Albert gets held up a little bit now. He does have Parise just in front, and of course he has to watch out behind for Salas. We'll see if Rafos takes the Joker this time by. Yes, he does. So we'll see straight away if he's going to come out in second.
Here we go, Rafos into the Joker lane. He'll come out side by side with Bo Albert. Is it gonna be enough? No, it won't. Albert's gonna close the door. Is he gonna give the bumper? Rafos onto the grip strip on the bottom. He goes right around him. The door was open from Bo Albert. They're still side by side. Rafos, Albert still side by side. They door bang once, twice, maybe 3 times. Cone sent into the space, and right on around for second goes Rafos. Albert's gonna fall to third. He still has Salas in his mirror. This is a battle for the transfer spot. They're still going after it.
Oh.
This time.
Slowdown for Albert. He got forced off the circuit by Rafos to the right-hand side. And there is a slowdown there to stop drivers getting all 4 wheels off the track and using the grass, which has more grip than the dirt, to gain speed out of turn number 1. So he's got a slowdown, had to give up the position to Salas. So that's really unfortunate for him. He hasn't lost the position to Swain though, so it looks like the drivers spread out a bit more now. That Parise is going to take the win in heat number 2.
On board with Parise, fistful of bourbon on the car. Jim Beaver Esports, known for their dirt road prowess. Specifically, Jim Beaver puts on all of his Esports World Cups that you can watch across iRacing with the pro trucks, and they are definitely no slouches here in Rallycross. Connor Parise is going to walk away with the win here in heat number 2. Rafos is going to come home in second. That final transfer spot, Salas, Albert, and Swain are going to join Toscan and Nunez and Edmondson here in the Consolation. What a second heat, Dane. We knew we were going to see some exciting moments here at Sonoma, but 2 heats, 2 exciting races. I'm excited for the Consolation that we're about to get started with. 6 cars on the track instead of 5.
Absolutely, it's just the corners are so good for running side by side, whereas on other circuits maybe there's only a 1 line through the corner. Here at Sonoma, some of the corners you can run 2, even 3 wide sometimes we've seen in other races, so it's a fantastic circuit for racing, and I'm so glad that we're seeing that here today.
Ready to go green. 6 cars now on the grid here at Sonoma. Everybody makes it into the feature race. Just depends on where they want to start. Toskinen going to get away with the early lead. Nunez to his outside. Everyone fairly calm through turn number 1. They'll go single file. Edmondson in 5th. Albert in 4th. Send to the bottom for Luis Nunez. They'll go side by side coming over the jump, but not for long. Nunez going to fall back. He's still going to look to the inside in 1. Falls back in the line. Salas in 3rd. Albert 4th. Albert's going to make a move on Salas before they get to turn number 1. Door bang once, twice. Sends him off the track. Goes Salas. Albert now side by side with Edmondson as they go up the hill. Edmondson get a door bang with Albert. Bo Albert trying to hold on, but he's going to fall to 4th.
And now Swain trying to get involved as well. Salas is going to go side by side with him up the hill towards turn 4, and they make contact again. Just about can't get past Edmondson, holding on just about onto 3rd place with an Albert right on his tail there. Albert just unfortunately sending it a little bit too deep and slamming into the side of Salas, who's the only person to take the Joker on the first time by. He's coming up between Nunez and Edmondson.
So they send it back up into the dirt section. 1 lap down. 4 to go here in the Constellation. On board with Salas, looking back to Edmondson, who currently sits there in 4th. Bo Albert behind him. Albert looks back to the bottom. Edmondson a little bit out of shape coming through that corner. Able to keep that grip on the car, and he's going to stay in 4th. Albert looking for any opportunity he can to try and get around Josh Edmondson. Just not able to do so. Edmondson pulls out of the way, goes into the Joker. A little bit of smoke car around. That's Luis Nunez. Nunez spins it. He goes backwards into the Joker, but disaster for the Logitech GLS Esports number 6. He's going to fall all the way to last place. Edmondson now up into 2nd.
Yes, that's an absolute disaster for Nunez there. Depending on how far wide he went when he spun around into the Joker, he might have even got a black flag penalty, which would basically end his race at the moment, because you'd get a nice 20-second penalty. We're going to get a replay now to see just what happened there. Nunez leading at the moment, and then he's got Salas right behind him. He goes in towards the Joker. That's exactly what I said. He's gone well off, and if he doesn't rejoin the Joker on the tarmac, he might be getting a penalty for that, but it doesn't matter because he's going to finish in last place anyway. But that's what I was talking about before we got started. He broke right on the racing line, and that's why he just got collected by Salas, because there's no way Salas can predict that.
You can see why Edmondson pulled out of the way when he was going into the Joker lane to make that braking zone. It showed right there in what Luis Nunez did. Just Salas, no way of knowing. Salas now going to make a move on Edmondson. Goes up into P2. You're watching on board from Bo Albert. Edmondson goes wide, opens the door for Albert. He's now going to hop up into third. Edmondson falls to fourth. And Luis Nunez able to get around at least Keaton Swain. But here comes Albert now into the Joker. Where is he going to come out? Provisionally second place. Is that going to hold? Yes, it will. Toskinen holds the lead. White flag is out. Albert now up into P2. Salas, Edmondson, Nunez, and Swain, the current running orders. They go back up into the dirt section for the first time.
And you can see both saw what happened to his teammates in front of him. He made sure he was well to the right-hand side off the racing line when he started braking for his Joker entry on the final lap of the race. I don't think Salas has the pace to catch right up and overtake Albert, as we saw Delolmo do in the final lap of heat number 1. So I think Toskinen and Barabot are going to finish 1-2. Toskinen asually ran away with this one. We haven't seen anything from him. That's because he's 4 seconds up the road, about to take the win.
Checkered flag flies. Otto Toskinen walks away with the consolation victory. Bo Albert in second. Salas comes home third. Edmondson fourth. Luis Nunez able to rebound up into fifth, as Keaton Swain is going to come home in sixth place. Ready to go now here in the feature tonight from Virtual Sonoma. And here is your starting grid. 2 heat winners up on the front row. It's Delolmo and Parise. Tuomainen going to join them on that 3-wide front row with Jacob Raffus there in fourth. Otto Toskinen, Bo Albert, Vicente Salas, Josh Edmondson, Luis Nunez, and Keaton Swain rounding out the 10 drivers. All set and ready to go here from Virtual Sonoma. Dane, has been a great start to the evening, but we now up it from 6 cars to 10 and 5 laps to 10. This is going to be off the charts, and it's going to be everybody fighting for that real estate down there in the first turn.
Absolutely. It's called the bowling alley for a reason. The wall is very close on the right-hand side. It tightens up on exit. With 10 cars going through there, you can almost guarantee someone's going to get turned around.
Well, here we go. The lights come up, ready to go out. Round number 6, feature race time in Sonoma, and a jump start, I think, from Parise, maybe from Tuomainen as well. I don't think the lights were on when they both went. 3 wide for third. Down the inside goes Toskinen. Raffus fighting there. Salas is in it. Nunez gets sideways. Edmondson sideways as well as they all fight from the back. But Parise and Tuomainen up at the front of the field. I do not think that they went on the green. I think they went a little bit before it, Dane. What are your thoughts?
I think Parise went, and that set Tuomainen off as he makes contact with his teammate, Delolmo, who's actually getting under pressure now. And Toskinen's turned right around by Albert.
The series points leader, Toskinen, goes right on around. Albert knocks him out of the way. Car going wide. That looks to be Raffus. That might be Delolmo, actually.
Delolmo has a slowdown.
Edmondson into the wall. Multiple cars go off. One car with a slowdown. Who's going to take to the Joker in the first lap? Albert's a taker. Nobody else, it looks like. Everybody else stays on the main line. Albert's going to Joker first time. Exhibition's getting in.
He had a slowdown as well. I think he was also stuck on the inside through turn number 1 of the first line by, so he had to slow right down, almost come to a full stop to serve a slowdown in time. There was no way he could serve it in that massive group of Edmonds. It's all sort of sideways there, and Albert says, thank you very much, I'll take 6th place off you.
Contact from Luis Nunez. You can hear Edmondson sort of saying, come on, Luis, what are you doing there over the iRacing voice chat? He'll fall to 7th. Teammates side by side. Albert gonna knock him out of the way. Albert now gonna go up into top 5. Nunez down into 6th. Any takers to the Joker. Here comes Nunez in now. He's gonna try and go for an overtake back on his teammate. He's gonna hop up into 5th now. Delolmo gonna hold on to P4. Salas gonna hold on to P3. Side by side. Contact made. That sends Delolmo into the corner. Nunez is going to go right on around for 4th. Delolmo falls to 5th. And as the action starts to settle down, Tuomainen is jokered. He holds the lead. Nunez is jokered. He's in 4th. Albert is jokered. He's in 6th. Raffus a little bit far off the pace now for that Joker lane delta of 3 seconds. Tuomainen might walk off victory here in Sonoma.
But he also might have a massive penalty for jumping the start. We just don't know. It looked very close for him, but I think Parise definitely ends up with a penalty after this race. I think there's no world where Parisi goes on green. Either that or everybody else in the entire grid went about a second later. And that's extremely sideways there from Rafos. He's almost got a 90-degree angle on the entry into turn number 1. Slowed up his teammate Delomo. He won't appreciate that. And look at Salas. He's still got his Joker to do. He could overtake both Rafos and Delomo if he takes his Joker now.
Remember, Tuaminen does have a post-race penalty for a jump start. What you're looking at right now, on board with Rafos, Delomo to the bottom, almost making contact with his teammate. Rafos is going to Joker. This battle for second is going to turn into the battle for the lead. If Tuaminen does have that penalty for the jump start, Rafos with that Joker will keep second place. Delomo now set to fight with Salas for fourth, but Salas still yet to Joker. He could overtake Delomo here for third whenever he chooses to go into the Joker lane. We're going to have 5 to go this time at the line. Salas still within a car length of Delomo. Nunez trying to catch up from behind in fifth, who's already Jokered.
So just Salas now has the Joker, and he's definitely close enough to overtake Delomo, and I think he might just about be close enough to take Rafos as well. He's not going to take it this time by. I think he'll leave it until a bit later in the race, or unless maybe he drops back slightly, he'll take it just to get the track position back on the two drivers in front. But Rafos struggling for pace a little bit. He was a good 2 seconds ahead of these two a couple of laps ago, and now he's got a bit of pressure from behind. So I think Rafos may be struggling a little bit, and with 5 laps to go, 4.5 now at this point, Delomo might be trying to catch up and get past his Esports teammate.
On board with Salas. Should be looking at the Joker lane relatively soon. Only speaking of that because he still is yet to take it, and it could mean an overtake between at least one or maybe both of the set Esports Subarus that are up in front of him. That's Rafos and Delomo as they continue to fight. Rafos losing a bit of time to Tuaminen, but once again, we think Tuaminen might have a post-race penalty for a jump start. If he does, then that means Rafos is going to walk away with his first feature race win of the season. Battle for 7th. Toskinen has fallen all the way back here after incidents early on. He's battling with Edmondson, who's looking for a 7th place finish here. Toskinen about a car length back. Teammate to Edmondson at Jimby Esports, Parisi, back there in 9th. You can see him. He might also have a jump start penalty. Look to the inside for Toskinen. Edmondson goes way wide with a slowdown.
Yeah, I thought he went over that blue turtle curb a little bit too hard. I'm really confused as to Salas' strategy here. He has caught up a little bit of time on the last lap, but the last few laps he's been losing time to Rafos, and that's really confusing. There he goes, he sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 39.140. But up until that point, I would have taken the Joker by now because he's losing time on every lap, or at least he was up until the last one, and he could very well take the Joker and come out in the lead of the race if Tuaminen does have that penalty. But like we said, we actually have no idea if Tuaminen does or not. He definitely went earlier than everyone else, but I'm not sure if that was, if he got lucky maybe and went just as the lights turned green. Salas to the Joker now. We'll see where he comes out.
Provisionally third. There goes Rafos right on by. Here comes Salas back onto the racetrack. So Rafos is going to keep second place, but with 2 to go, Salas might be within striking distance, especially now. Rafos goes right in turn 1. Here comes Salas to second. This could be the battle for the lead if Tuaminen has the post-race penalty. Contact made, but going around is Rafos. He gets up on the turtle curve. Here comes Salas to the lead now. In second place, provisionally the lead with that penalty. Rafa's gonna hold on to third. Delomo holding on to fourth. White flag this time by. We could be looking at the battle for the lead here, or we could be looking at a walk-off victory from Tuaminen. Only time will tell. We'll find out at the checkered flag.
Absolutely, Toskinen now takes the Joker in the background. He's going to come out in front of Parisi and Edmondson, who also has not taken the Joker. He'll be leaving it for the last lap, but I don't think any positions are going to come from that. But here, riding on board with Delomo, getting all sorts of offline there through turn 2 and now uphill into turn 3. Had to do a lot of correction there, losing some time. I don't think he's close enough to do a last lap 7 like he did on Toskinen in the heat race, and I think Salas or Tuaminen is going to come across the line to take the win, but is it enough? He seems to think so.
Tuaminen is celebrating. He might not have that post-race penalty after all. We will take a look post-race at that start. But we have a celebration from Tuaminen. I think he might have walked away with this win. Fast times from Salas and Rafos on that final lap. And look at Tuaminen. He is celebrating. It looks like Tuaminen is going to walk away with the win. And another feature race victory for Set Esports. We'll wait race, make sure that penalty will not be applied. You could be right, Dane. He might have jump-started, but right as the lights went green. He might have went on Parisi, who jump-started, but the lights might have been green when it happened.
I think that's exactly what happened. Parisi definitely jump-started, I think. And yes, he did. He has got that penalty because he was in front of Edmondson across the line. So Parisi got the penalty. Tuominen, what a stroke of luck for him. Because he definitely went before everybody else. But I think he was reacting to Parisi going so early. But I think he might have just about had the green come out on time. So Tuominen, it looks like it's official, has taken the win.
What a storyline here from Sonoma, and what a win for Rasmus Tuominen to walk away with the feature race victory here in Sonoma. An unbelievable storyline. I think that's the only way to describe it. Just he went early. We know he went early, but he just went at the perfect time, right as the lights went green. And he got a leg up on the rest of the competition, but unlike Parisi, he did not jump the start. So what a win for Tuominen, what a reaction time there as well, as he's able to walk away with this victory. Taking a look back at the start now, you can clearly see the jump start from Parisi. Taking a look, slow-mo replay, half speed here. You can see the exact moment Parisi goes. We'll see if we can also maybe see the start lights at the same time. There's the start from Parisi. I think that's exactly what happened. Tuominen went right as those lights went green. He went on Parisi, who was right next to him, but right as the lights went green, he took his hand off the handbrake and got a better start than the rest of the field, walked away with this race victory.
Well, Josh, I think the man's here, so we can ask him, I think, is what we really need to do, because he's right there. We'll see one more replay of him on board, and I think we'll get him in for a chat.
We will. Right after we see this on board, we will get Rasmus Tuominen in here for the post-race interview. When did those lights go green? That is too close to call. I do think he went right on green. We'll get him up here now. Rasmus Tuominen, feature race winner for Set Esports, joining us up here in the booth right now. Rasmus, the talk of the town right now is that start. From your perspective, what happened? Because clearly you didn't get a post-race penalty. Connor Parisi did.
Yeah, thank you for the interview, team. It was yeah, I almost guessed the start. So yeah, Parisi took this jump start, and I realized that, but I don't just know what happened, but it just was a perfect start, and thereon it was a straight on race, because I knew that Parisi has the slow penalty for jumping the start, so just focused on my own race and knew that I can keep it clean and go safely P1 all the time.
Well, it looked like just an absolutely perfect start, because Parisi went next to you, and even if you reacted at it, then you went right as that green light came on, got a jump over the rest of the field. How easy was it to hold off the field, because you got such a better start than everybody, and your Set Esports teammates were battling behind you, but you just put your eyes forward and started knocking out those laps and ended up winning by roughly about 4 seconds when you came across the line?
Yeah, that was a perfect try for me. I made maybe 2 mistakes in the whole race, and every time in turn 1 keep it inside and keep it on the worn track, and yeah, not a lot of mistakes, and I think it was just a no mistake drive, and it rewarded us for victory, and now a good position in the standings also.
Yeah, you came into this race down in the order in the standings. You finish out in 4th in the standings, pretty much all but locked into the World Championship. Is your focus going to go to Charlotte for the qualifying series, or are you already putting focus towards the World Championship and trying to get a championship for Set Esports next year?
Of course, I'm gonna focus now for the World Championship, and when the season started, I already knew that I can't drive Charlotte, so I have to keep that as a mind to focus every race and not fail in any race. But because of my army due, so I have to be next week in the army. So yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us post-race, Rasmus. Congratulations on your feature race win here from Virtual Sonoma.
Yeah, thank you, and have to give a shout out to Jonne Ollikainen, who was my spotter, and I'm currently at his house driving his simulator. So journey trip here, and drove his simulator, came here like 4 hours ago and started training. So yeah.
Well, that sim rig definitely worked for Jonne Ollikainen last year in the World Championship. Definitely worked for you here today in the qualifying series. Once again, congratulations, Rasmus.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear. First place finisher Rasmus Tuomen, and we'll go over now to Dane Baird standing by with second place finisher Vicente Salas here in Sonoma.
Yeah, Vicente, a very eventful race for yourself. You had started in 7th, of course, in the feature race, and then just took advantage of the absolute chaos in the first couple of laps, I guess, to move yourself up some places.
Yeah, honestly, I think we had a solid start. Kind of got shunted out of the way a few times there, which I mean, I don't know what to chalk that up to, but I'm glad we were able to fight up the field and ultimately grab some solid points.
Now, with the start of the race, it was very difficult for us to know in the commentary booth. Parisi definitely got a jump start. Everyone probably could see that. But then Tuomen on the outside of the front row also went earlier than everybody else. He says he just guessed the start, but he didn't get a penalty. Were you thinking that he might have got a penalty? Was that crossing your mind at all?
Kind of. I wasn't too sure, to be honest, because I think Connor just yarded everybody much more. So, I mean, that was kind of obvious. But, I mean, I'm glad he won the race. You know, I don't know if he really needed points or whatever, but, I mean, he definitely deserved it. He absolutely gapped us, so.
Absolutely. And then with your final lap overtake, was it final lap or was it the second to last lap? It was very close to the end. The overtake on Rafos there. What happened there? Did you just send it up the inside? Did he maybe run a little bit wide?
Yeah, so turn 1 is a very weird corner. I think you're literally only quick if your right sides are in the grass and your left sides are just in that grip patch. So when he got his left sides out of the grip patch, I think it just pulled his car out and I was able to slide underneath.
That must have been a fantastic move for yourself. I know I've done that a couple of times. Must be said in a very much lower split though. But yeah, it's a fantastic circuit. I think Sonoma is one of my favorite circuits at least. What are your thoughts on the circuit? It's very good for racing, I think.
Yeah, I think it definitely produces some really interesting racing, especially on the starts with how it's such a wide entrance to the corner and it all just kind of tightens up and then gets wider again on exit. But yeah, I'd say I enjoy this track, and I think maybe if we didn't get kind of stuck starting where we were, maybe we could have contended a bit more for the win, but still super happy with P2.
And then heading into the final round of the series, Charlotte Speedway. It's a brand new circuit in Rallycross. We've never had a pro race. We've had the Invitationals in the spring, but never had an actual pro race in the qualifying series of the World Championship at Charlotte. What are your thoughts on the circuit? Have you driven it much?
I have not driven it much. I have raced the Oval, though. We had a pretty good car there for the Coke Series. So I'm hoping maybe we can double down and bring another good rally car to the track.
Well, let's certainly hope so for the final round of the season. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Vicente, in the commentary box. Second place for you in the feature today. Congratulations on that. We'll see you in 1 week's time at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the first time on that circuit. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Donovan Strauss for being on my box, being my eyes in the sky. And I was gone this weekend, so I wasn't really able to work on the car. So huge thank you to Jarrett Liebert for getting the car dialed in so I could hop right in and join the race today.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Good to hear from Vicente Salas. Yeah, exactly. And you could hear exactly just his thought process there, because he didn't know about the post-race penalty really, and he was fighting there for second place. Might have thought he would have gotten that win there, but no post-race penalty for Rasmus Tuominen. Race win for Rasmus Tuominen here in the future. And Dane, we've spoken with Rasmus, spoken with Vicente about Charlotte. Now getting your thoughts on the Charlotte Motor Speedway track, because it is one of the newest ones to be added to the service. Hasn't been used in a World Championship other than the All-Star Invitational, and you raced in the All-Star Invitational on Charlotte. So what are your thoughts on the track, and what are these drivers really going to be looking for in that track to really get the most speed out of it they possibly can? Because we're kind of going in a little bit blind as to what's going to happen on the racetrack during the heats in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a circuit that I know pretty well, I would say, having done 800 laps of practice for said All-Star Invitational race. It was a very much hard, sweaty week of preparation for that race for myself. So Charlotte is a very difficult circuit. It doesn't look like it's that difficult, but it has lots of dirt sweeping corners that you can lose so much time on by carrying slightly too little speed or even too much speed through them. There's a blind crest into a heavy braking zone in dirt that you want to carry speed through, with walls on either side. It's really a really challenging circuit, and it will challenge the drivers a lot, especially those who maybe don't have as much time to practice. We know that some of the drivers practice a lot. Some of them maybe won't have enough time to do too much practice next week. That's going to cost them a lot, especially at the new circuit, but especially Charlotte. It is a very technical circuit, very tight and twisty, walls very common. So drivers, if you make a mistake, they'll be ending up in a wall, and that's obviously not quite ideal. Some of the circuits have some runoff, but not Charlotte in too much respect. But yeah, it's a very difficult circuit, a lot of dirt. I would say maybe 80 to 90% dirt. There's barely any tarmac.
And we hope to see you in 1 week's time when we go green from virtual Charlotte. And real quick, Dane, looking at the series standings, we have a handful of drivers up at the front that we know are pretty much safe, but the battle on that transfer spot still is relatively up in the air. Kevin Ellis Jr., great runs from him all season long. Otto Toskanen, Killian Delormo, Rasmus Tuominen, Alex Bergeron, the top 5. Bergeron looking to get back into the World Championship Series and back into full swing of things. Down by the transfer spot, Vicente Salas. This race definitely helped him out, but Lademaki's still down there. Parisi, Edmondson, they're still down there. Rafus, even with the finish today, he's still down way past the current transfer spot, which is 18th. They'll take the top 18 provisionally to move into the World Championship Series. So on that battle for the transfer, only one round left to get above it, and there's a lot of fast guys that are looking for a miracle when we go to North Carolina.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of drivers in the top split that might not even make it. And it seems really weird considering that they have like one of the best ratings in iRX. But yeah, it's just the name of the game. The drivers in the second, third splits, we've been speaking about it all season. If you're consistently finishing in first in those splits, as Kevin Ellis Jr. has been doing in the fourth and third splits, he's basically won every single race he's done. I think he's only finished second once. We have to wait and see how he did in those splits tonight. But yeah, he was leading the championship at one stage. I think he was passed by Taskinen in the last round after Taskinen's feature win in the top split. But it means that some of the drivers that are maybe not finishing as well in this top split might not even get there, even if they possibly would have the pace to do so. So it's very challenging for these drivers in the top split, especially the likes of Parisi and Rafos, who haven't had the best results, but are definitely quick enough to get into the World Championship Series just on pace alone. They're really going to have to put the work into Charlotte. I know Rafos is extremely quick around Charlotte. I was doing some practice with him for the All-Star race, so he's definitely clued up around there, but I don't know much about how Parisi's pace is there. But those two drivers and a couple of the drivers too, definitely going to have to put the work in for next week's race.
And once again, we hope to see you in 1 week's time when we go green from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for round number 7 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship qualifying series presented by Yokohama. Make sure as well, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Click the notification bell as well. Get notified every time we go live for another broadcast here on Apex Racing TV. Also, check us out on social media at Apex Racing TV, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever else you can find us. You can head to apexracingtv.com as well. See all the upcoming events as well as live timing for a handful of our broadcasts. So make sure you join us 1 week's time from virtual Charlotte when we decide the top 18 that'll be moving in to the iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama. For Mark Tranter, Dane Baird, I am Joshua Lee. Thank you for joining us, and we are saying goodbye from virtual Sonoma.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.